Okay, good morning. Welcome to the Sports Talk with Kerry Wehmeyer show for Sunday, May 2nd. We're going to be going over today's sports recaps. Today, we're recapping LSU baseball. We're also recapping Tulane baseball. We're also recapping what happened with UNO. And we'll also go into the JUCO and NAIA baseball with Loyola and Delgado, so we'll have those recaps for you as well. So we'll go ahead and send our links out to you if you want to come in video chat. You can come in video chat whenever you want. So let me send those links out, and we'll get started in just a second. Here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, we are live. Here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. So I'm going to go ahead and send those links out. Get the links are sent out. Posted. So the links are posted. Let's go ahead and recap what happened with LSU yesterday. LSU lost 17-10. Also, they did win the second game 5-4. So we'll have the game one recap first, and then we'll have game two. Which we'll have highlights for game two, and we'll go through the box score. So let's start doing that. So we're going to recap LSU's box score from yesterday. Put that in the screen. Okay, the LSU box score is in your screen. LSU once again loses 17-10 in the game. The losing pitcher was AJ Labris. He's 3-1, followed by the winning pitcher for Arkansas was Ryan Castillo. He did so that was the winning pitcher for the Arkansas Razorbacks. Let's go through the play-by-play beginning. Okay, the play-by-play began in the first inning. Arkansas scored 5 runs. They had 5 runs in the top of the first, so they did score 5 runs. Arkansas went up 5-0. They had 1 man left on base, so that was in. So it will show you the what happened, how they scored their runs. Arkansas scored on a double, and then they had a fly out. Now LSU. Did not score in the bottom of the first. It did not score. Now, in the top of the second, Arkansas left 1 man on base. They had 1 hit in the game. Also, in the bottom of the second, LSU started getting their runs across in the bottom of the second. DiGiacomo scored on a wild pitch. They made it 5-1, so DiGiacomo scored. So it made it 5-1, and that was the only one that got across in the bottom of the second. So let's see what else we have. Okay, LSU scored another run that was in the bottom of the third. That was on a double play, and so that was out on a play, and then Morgan scored on a wild pitch. Milazzo also, it was a wild pitch. Morgan advanced. And Milazzo scored on a wild pitch, so it was made it 5-2. Then Arkansas kind of did not score in the bottom, top of the fourth. LSU in the bottom of the fourth, kind of bats were not, they were silent in the bottom of the fourth. Also, Arkansas scored 7 runs in the top of the fifth, so it made it 12-2. So it was 12-2 Arkansas on top. So that was on a single for the right side. So it made it 12-2. And then their first score was the 11th run was on a single to the right side as well. So it was a 7-run inning. Arkansas led 12-2. Then LSU did not score in the bottom of the fifth, so kind of They left one man on base. Now in the top of the sixth, Arkansas scored 4 runs, so it was made it 60-2. So they were up big time, 16-2 in the game. They left one man on base in the game. Now in the bottom of the sixth, LSU scored just one run. That was on a Giacomo single. He did score off that Dugas advanced, and Cruz did score, made it 16-3. Then in the let's see, we'll go to the LSU scored 6 runs. That was in the bottom of the 7th inning. Crawford doubled to right field. Dugas did score. Also, Bianco homered, and Crawford. Cranford did score, so Cranford scored, made it 16-9. They left one runner on base. They had 6 runs, 6 hits in the bottom of the 7th. That was in the bottom of the 7th. Also, in the top of the 8th, it was 17-9. Arkansas scored another run, made it 17-9. That was with no runners left on base. Now LSU scored their run in the bottom of the 8th. It was a double by Dugas. Sanford did score, made it 17-10. So that was the only run that would come through for the LSU Tigers. And Arkansas bats were silent in the top of the 9th. Same thing with the LSU bats. In the bottom of the 9th, they did not score another run. So final score, LSU loses 17-10 was your final. So 17-10. LSU loses to Arkansas. Let's give you the box score on the LSU hitters. Okay, LSU box score. I'm going to scroll down. Okay, let's go through the box score. Morgan went 1 for 3. Doherty went 1 for 1. Dylan Cruz went 1 for 2. Mitchell Sanford went 1 for 2. Gavin Dugas went 1 for 4. Giovanni DiGiacomo went 4 for 5. Pretty good day for him. Kay Doherty went 1 for 3. Kyler Cranford went 1 for 2. Jordan Thompson went 0 for 3. Drew Bianco went 1 for 2. Brody Drost went 0 for 3. Zach Orner went 1 for 4. Alex Milazzo went 1 for 1. And Jake Wyatt went 0 for 2. Now, the batting for LSU, Dugas had a double. Giovanni DiGiacomo had a double, so it was 3 doubles in the ball game, and also 2 home runs by Bianco and Arnold. LSU pitching was absolutely, they was using 5 pitchers yesterday. They used A.J. Labors. He had 4 innings of work. He gave up 10 hits, 9 runs, 9 was earned. He walked 1, struck out 3. Blake Money's same inning. He gave up 5 hits, 6 runs. He also walked 3 and struck out 1. Trent Wehmeyer gave up 2 hits, 1 run. One of them was earned, and he didn't strike out no one. Jacob Hasty had gave up 1 hit. He did not get a run or an earned run. Theo Mills had 1 hit given up. 1 run was earned in this game. So that was in yesterday's game. So LSU loses 17-10 to the Arkansas Razorbacks. We will recap game 2 box score once we show you the highlights from yesterday's LSU's game against Arkansas game 2. So we're going to give you some highlights. So I'm going to get this out of the screen, and we will switch this over to LSU game highlights, game 2 of game at Alex Box Stadium against Arkansas. So let me go ahead and put that in, and we'll put the sound in for you. And we'll hear from Paul Maneri about yesterday's game. So we're going to go ahead, and this one is from Stream Hog. So Stu Hog. Stu Hog is the video person. Please give him a shout out. So let's go ahead and go over to the highlights. LSU.
Skip Bergman Field inside Alex Box Stadium here on the campus of LSU as we get set for game 2 of an SEC series, game 1 of a Saturday doubleheader. His spots, and when he makes the corners, he's tough to contend with. Here's a rope base hit in the shallow right center field. Gregory pitch up in the zone, and Gregory just drives it right to right. Davis from the stretch fires, and a little flare, going to be a base hit. Through the 6-0, nobody gets near it. Back-to-back singles, and Arkansas off to a great start.
Arkansas was absolutely off to a great start on those couple of hits. They were absolutely on
Maybe not agree. He hit his back foot. Oh, saw the shoelaces move. We got the vantage point of the.
Yeah, that was a pretty good call right there. So it's a hit by a pitch. So.
The 3-1 hammered left center field. That's going to score Gregory. They'll wave around Goodhart. Throw coming into second base and going up his arm, down. The throw was high.
So those runs score. So that was a 2 RBI single.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. Off speed. Lifted in the air towards right center field. Going back. Nobody gets to it. Takes a bounce.
Nice bounce off the wall. So Arkansas scores another run. So Arkansas had 2-0 in the top of the first. That was in the top of the first. So a pretty good hit right there by Arkansas. They had a nice little double down the right field line. So they score another run, makes it 5-0 Arkansas.
Yeah, tough start for the day.
Hitting streak come to an end. We'll see how he starts off today against Paulette. First pitch from this team. It's not weak by any stretch of the imagination.
So LSU
ball hit to short. Comes up with it. Long throw.
So a nice little throw right there. Good defensive play by Arkansas. So another good gem right there.
Throws the first, and the Tigers put away in order. 1-2-3 here in the bottom of
the swing held back.
3-2. Base hit up the middle.
So Arkansas gets a base hit up the middle here in the top of the second inning. Now in the bottom of the second, LSU bats. They get a base hit up the middle. So nice little hit by LSU to get on the base pads. So here's a nice little hit. So that was a good, excellent hit by K. Doherty. Excellent hit. I like that hit by K. Doherty. So it puts runners at first and second. And then they try to go double play. And so they do get the double play.
Fires, and it gets away from Opitz. There comes the Giacomo. No chance for a play.
So a nice little run. So the run comes in. LSU cuts the lead to 5-1. Then LSU start nice little base hit. So Milazzo gets on a base hit. And then nice little pitch. Nice little bouncer.
the third. Morgan picks up his first hit of the series, and with one out, the Tigers have runners first and third. Checks the runners.
So the ball goes back to the backstop and a run. So Milazzo cuts the lead to 5-2. So 5-2 Arkansas. So 5-2 Arkansas. So that's a ball 4. That's a walk. It's a nice little hit right here coming in. And so they try to go to. That was a bad running play by LSU. So once again, so Giovanni gets the base hit in the bottom of the 4th. Then bottom of the 4th, nice little steal by but he's out. That was the Giacomo caught stealing. That was a bad running decision, and that was strikeout right there. Well, nice little base hit by Arkansas. Arkansas still leads 5-2 in the and a good bunt coming up to the third base side. So Arkansas just absolutely puts the bunt down.
At third, but an RBI double.
So 6-2.
That'll make it 6-2 Razorbacks. Infield playing in, and Franklin going to drive one deep to left. This one going to come off the wall. Dugas going to pick it up. And that will score 2 runs.
That scores the 2 runs right there.
Suddenly Arkansas extending the lead.
They absolutely exploded in this game, leading 8-2.
Slavens. This one hit high and deep to right field, and this ball is gone. It's a 2-run blast, and just like that, it is 10-2 Arkansas.
And they just absolutely just blistered LSU pitching right there. Absolutely blistered LSU pitching.
Their first inning with 5 runs. Here in the top of the 5th, there is still nobody out.
The freshman, 6'7", 260 pounds.
Fastball high for ball.
So that was the first game where LSU loses 17-10.
They're going to wave around Opitz. Cruz going to fire it in, cut off by Morgan, and an RBI single for Smith. His second RBI of the day on 2. Here's the 1-2. Ground ball, base hit. Tigers had that semi-shift on. That's going to score Smith. Gregory into third, and an RBI single for Wallace makes it 12-2. Cheer to the leadoff hitter. 3-2 pitch. This is inside ball 4. Money with a payoff pitch, hammered to center field. Going to drop down in front of DiGiacomo. They had the runner in.
So that was the Okay, we're going to fast forward it to the last few innings. So let's go ahead and fast forward it.
The throw coming to the cutoff man. The plate at the plate, not in time.
Yep.
Safely is the Giacomo. And Collier Cranford never slowed down. Brown's first, second.
So it was 16-7 in the 7th inning. Then the home run to left field. Nice little home run. So Drew Bianco gets the home run. So LSU loses the first game 17-10, but wins the second game 5-4. So 5-4 in the second game.
2-2 delivery. Line drive shot over the top.
So LSU loses 17-10. They win the second game 5-4. So we'll give you the I'll give you the box score recap of game 2. So let's go ahead and do that. So I don't know if we have any. I don't. This is game 1's video, so we'll give you game 2's video. So let me go ahead and give you Paul Maneri. We're going to give you Paul Maneri's comments on this game. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Give me 1 second to switch it. And we'll have Paul Maneri, and then we'll give you game two's recap. So LSU loses 17-10. I'm gonna tell you that was absolutely unacceptable that LSU lose that game to Arkansas. To be honest with you, it was just like Arkansas was just absolutely on their game and stuff like that. I'm gonna tell you, big time. They just absolutely just dominated the LSU Tigers in yesterday's ball game, in game one. So 17-10, they lose in game one. Now game two, they went 5-4. So let's go ahead and hear from what Paul Maneri had to say. So I'm going to go ahead and put Paul Maneri in, and we'll hear Paul Maneri's comments. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in.
Let me just make one statement. I'll say this: Kim Mulkey is amazing. She's already undefeated at LSU. She comes in, throws out a first pitch. Got the magic touch, doesn't she? Inspires us to win against the number one team in the country. We need to have her throw out the first pitch every day. But we didn't win the series and pointing, but to salvage one game against the number one team in the country was huge for us. They're good. They're really good. And
I'm gonna tell you, Arkansas is a cut above the rest in the SEC.
That might happen today with AJ after last week. Pitching a complete game. You see this happen frequently with guys that have to expend so much. Pitch 25 pitches, a lot of pitches. I rarely have let a pitcher go that deep in a game. And even though he felt great, I mean, he had no pain, he had no fatigue or anything like that. He kept telling me, I feel great. But, the fastball just doesn't have that little extra something. The slider doesn't have that little extra bite. And, good hitting team can take advantage of that. I thought AJ really, after giving up 5 runs in the first inning, battled hard and gave us 3 shutout innings. I was very tempted to just take him out of the game after the 4th inning, and I wish I had. As much as he's given to our team this year, I wish I had just taken him out then. I didn't know he was, have a rough inning there in the 5th, but with 18 innings to play, you're trying to get a little bit of length out of your game one starter because you're probably going to need a lot of guys, but things got out of hand there, and it was tough to endure. But our guys fought, and, put a few guys in the game that came through with some big hits, and we kind of, I wouldn't say we got back in the game, but we gave them a run for their money there a little bit, and I think that gave us a little bit of an uplift going into game 2, and Mikhail, did a fantastic job for us, and we got the big home run in the 1st inning, which was a big lift. It was the first lead we'd had all weekend, and it's a lot more fun to play with the lead than it is to be behind all the time. So, we held on there at the end. It was thrilling. It was a great crowd. They were into it. It was a lot of fun that second game.
That was Mikhail's first SEC win since May of 2018. Just the thought of him doing that and what he's been through to hang in.
Yeah, well, he threw the ball so well earlier this week in the game against Grambling and did it pretty efficiently, about 30 pitches. So I've been toying with the idea all week, about starting him in the 3rd game. I didn't anticipate that the game would be on Saturday. I thought it would be on Sunday when he had 4 days rest. But, when we, got knocked around in the first game today, we just felt that it was the right thing to do. And I thought he threw the ball great. And he seems to have found his confidence again. He's found his curveball. His command was really good. And it's been it's been huge for our team and for that young man. I couldn't be happier for a kid. He, when he's in a groove, when he's in a rhythm, and he's throwing the ball good, his balls, his fastball is really moving, and his curveball's got a tight spin to it, and he's got good command of it, and he becomes pretty tough. And he pitched really well against a tough lineup.
Well, we've obviously seen the bullpen go through some struggles this year. How much was your heart sort of pounding there in the ninth inning? And then once Devin actually got to the final out, just what was kind of going through your mind?
Well, after we made out in the bottom of the eighth inning, I was thinking, boy, wouldn't it be nice if Devin just made it easy for us in the ninth inning? And it didn't kind of work out that way that I was hoping. But the idea is to get the third out before the tying run or the winning run crosses home plate. Sometimes it's not pretty, but again, their team is really good. Devin was throwing the ball great. I can't fault him for anything that happened. He really was throwing the ball outstanding, 96 miles an hour, and Wallace, turned it around and hit a missile up the middle, and then Slavens, just kept fighting him off, and Devin wasn't backing down, and then finally Devin missed with the pitch and got the walk, and then he threw a first pitch slider, which was a good pitch to Franklin, and he got a base hit on it, and I was happy to see the sacrifice fly. To be honest with you, even though it gave him a run, I was happy that we got an out finally. Start counting outs at that point, and eventually, we got the. We were very fortunate actually. Oakley's hit that ball right on the nose, but sometimes in baseball, you got to have a little bit of luck on your side. And the ball was hit right at Doty, and we caught it. And that was the second out, and then he made some good pitches there at the end to Gregory. So yeah, it was a big relief to get the final pitch in there and to get the win.
Hey, Coach, it really seemed like in that last game, your defense really kind of helped you guys a lot, too. I mean, it seemed like Trey, Collier, all those guys in the infield, Jordan, Cade, all those guys made plays throughout the course of the game. I mean, can you just talk about the defense in that last game and how that kind of kept, Mikhail in there for a long stretch?
But ever since I've been the coach at LSU, I've always emphasized defense, and I've always said that defense goes right along with pitching. If you want to pitch well, you better play good defense behind them. And you spend the whole off season trying to develop a lineup that can not only score runs but can play defense behind your pitchers, so that when you're in these tight ball games against great teams, that you make those plays. And Collier's been waiting, his turn again, and just decided to put him in there. He had two really good at bats in the first game today when we put him in, and he made a couple really nice plays tonight for us. I thought difference makers, and I thought the whole infield played great. It's just really hard to win in this league if you don't play good defense. You don't have the gorilla ball days like you used to, where you just could mash 5-6 home runs in a game and out muscle everybody. You got to win these close ones, and you can't win them without good defense. I'm convinced of it. Anything else?
Following up on that good defense, I mean, Cade Doty had that slide and grab over the shoulder, obviously caught that out in the ninth. It seemed like he's made a lot of plays recently. How much has his defense grown this season?
Well, it's been good most of the year. He had a couple of missed plays yesterday in the game. But he's worked hard at his defense. For the most part, made a lot of really good plays for us. Yeah. All the guys have. We work hard on our defense every day. Every day they work hard and take a lot of ground balls and focus on it. And when they make errors, believe me, it's not on purpose. They're young kids, and they do the very best that they can. And nobody feels worse when they don't make a play than they do. It's a lot of pressure to play baseball at LSU, and a lot of people expect the really big things out of them. Sometimes they're not perfect, and I feel for them, but we're trying to win. And you need people to make plays, and pitchers out there battling like crazy. So, I thought Garrett Edwards really pitched well, and a couple good plays behind him really helped.
Paul, now that you got the win, do you think, looking back on it and then looking forward to what you have looked at this season, this was a really critical one? Your RPI is still very good, but you guys need conference wins, and this will turn out to be a critical win for you for your NCAA hopes.
I thought it was critical, Scott. Honestly, obviously we need to win some series, and like I told King just now, we've played 7 series, 6 of them have been against top 10 teams in the country. The one series it wasn't against Kentucky on the road, which is always a really difficult place. And you think now that you got the breathers, but Auburn just took a series at Georgia. Texas A&M is playing everybody really tough. It's like our record is not indicative of the caliber of our team. Neither is Auburn's or Texas A&M. So, we need to win some series, and we've got 3 left, and they're all going to be tough games. So, this was a critical win, though. There's no question about it. But if somehow, some way, we could find a way to win these last 3 series, and then you end up winning 5 of your 10 series, I don't know how many wins that would give us, maybe 13 or something like that. That'd be right, 13 or so. And then if you can do some damage in Hoover, I don't know. You leave it up to the committee, but your RPI is good. You win half your series in the league. Tough league, man. It's a tough league. Okay.
I'll be honest with you. Yes, it's going to be a very tough road ahead for the LSU Tigers, because look, you have to win 3 out of your last 5 games to get in, and then you got to win in the SEC tournament. I mean, sure, the RPI is good for LSU, but like I said, it doesn't mean anything right now. If you can get your wins in the last couple of series in the SEC, and then get some in the tournament, I'm pretty sure that LSU will get a regional. I don't think they will host a regional this year. I really don't, because that kind of was slop this year. So I'll be honest with you, LSU has got to get these wins the next couple of weekends, and it starts with Auburn next week, and also Alabama. So they got Auburn, Alabama, and they also got Texas A&M. Those last 3 series right there. So if you can win some games out in Auburn, because they're going to be playing Thursday, Friday, and Saturday up in Auburn. And also they'll play Friday, Saturday, and Sunday out in Alabama. That'll be on May 14th through 16th. So these 3 series between Auburn, Alabama, and Texas A&M is crucial to LSU season. They will play 7 on Tuesday night. They'll play 7 on Tuesday. They also will play Louisiana Tech. They'll be on May 11th. But those 3 series, and then they'll play Northwestern State in between. So LSU right now, and then they will take on Grambling. That'll be on May 27th. So it's probably LSU right now's record still at 26-17. Right now, the SEC, they're at 7-14 in the SEC, but they're 19-3 in non-conference play. So their RPI right now is at 24. So they can get in to a regional if they can win their last 3 series, and then also win in the SEC tournament. So that is going to be the big asset when it comes down to LSU baseball this year. So once again, LSU loses 17-10, and also they win 5-4 to split the series with Arkansas. So it looks like LSU didn't win the series this weekend, but they kind of salvaged one game. So out of the whole deal. So we'll go ahead and recap the Tulane Green Wave. Not a good weekend for the Tulane Green Wave. Let's give you what happened with Tulane. So we're going to go ahead and recap Tulane baseball. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So we're going to go over to the Tulane Green Wave now. I'm going to switch over. Okay, Tulane played yesterday. They did lose to Houston in baseball yesterday. They lost the game. So let's give you those scores. They did lose 7-4 in game one, but came back and won game two, 6-5. So we'll go through those box scores. So let's go ahead and do that. Tulane baseball box score. So I'm going to go through the first box score. So I don't know who that guy sent me. Okay, let's give you the box score. Okay, the box score is on your screen. So the box score, 7-4, Houston wins. Donovan Benoit gets the loss. Ben Sears gets the win. Derek Cherry gets the save. That's his third of the year. So Tulane loses 7-4 in game one. So we're going to recap what happened. We'll see what that is. Randy Peterson, thanks for giving me that like. Appreciate it. Okay, let's begin in the top of the first. Houston did not score. They had 3 straight strikeout swinging. So they went down on strikes. Now Tulane, in the bottom of the first, scored their first run. It was let's see how they scored it. They scored on Englehart's single to the left side. Lapierre did score, made it 1-0. So 1-0 Green Wave on top. So that they had left 3 runners on base. Houston did not score in the top of the second. So the Tulane bats silence. They only have 1 hit by a pitch given up. Now in the bottom of the second, Tulane did not score. Their bats went silent as well in the bottom of the second. Houston scored 7 runs. That was in the top of the third. Made it 7-1. So it was 7-1 on a double down the left field line. They scored 2 runs on that double. That was 7-1. So they left 1 man on base. Now Tulane came back and scored the 1 run in the bottom of the third. They made it 7, cut the lead to 7-2 on a base hit on the fielder's choice. So it made it 7-2. And let's see. Houston did not score in the bottom of the fourth. Tulane scored 1 run. That was in the bottom of the 4th inning. So the bottom of the 4th inning, they did score on a let's see. It was 7-3 Green Wave. And top of the 5th, Tulane pitching got a fly out and 2 fly out, ground out, and 1 strikeout. So fly out, ground out, and 1 strikeout. Now in the bottom of the 5th, Tulane did not score. They did fly out, strike out, and the only hit was a single to the shortstop. Let's see. bottom of the sixth, Houston did not score. Now, also top of the sixth, excuse me, top of the sixth. I'm getting okay. Now, in the bottom of the sixth, Tulane kind of left one runner on base. Same thing with Houston in the top of the seventh. Now, in the bottom of the seventh, Tulane scored their fourth run. It was on a Engelhardt ground out unassisted and made it 7-4. Houston in the top of the eighth left one runner on base. They had a double, but they did have strikeouts, ground out, flyouts. Also, Tulane bats in the bottom of the eighth did not score, but they got a single in the bottom of the eighth by Hart. So that was a single by Hart. Also in the top of the ninth, Houston did not score. They left a runner on base. Also, Tulane left 3 runners on base. They had 2 hits in the inning. So it ended with a 7-4 loss by the Houston Cougars. Houston wins that game 7-4. So let's go ahead and give you the Tulane box score. Okay, let's go through the box score. Colin Burns went 1 for 5. Jacob LaPrairie went 2 for 4. Lee Bennett went 3 for 5. Chase Engelhardt went 2 for 5. Frankie Neiman went 0 for 4. Okay, Matthew did not bat. Luis Aveos went 1 for 4. Ethan Groff went 2 for 4. Jared Hart went 1 for 4. Trevor Minder went 0 for 4 in the game, so 0 for 4. Now, doubles by LaPrairie and Groff, and also home run by Luis Aveos in the game. Now, Tulane pitching, Tulane used only 3 pitchers. They used Donovan Benoit. Donovan Benoit had given up 6 hits, 7 runs, 4 was earned. He walked 2 and struck out 4. Trent Johnson came in, struck out 3, but he gave up 4 hits. Also, Justin Campbell gave up 1 hit in the game, so he gave up 1 hit. So that was in. So the Tulane pitching gave up 11 hits, 7 runs, 4 of them was earned. They walked 2 and struck out 7. So that was in yesterday's game. So once again, Tulane loses game 1, 7-4, and they come back and win game number 2, 6-5. So we'll go ahead and give you a recap on Tulane's second game. So we're going to go ahead and give you game 2. Recap. So I'm going to go ahead and go through game 2's box score. So I'm going to go through that. So we'll go to game 2's box score on the screen. I'll pull it up. Okay, Tulane wins 6-5. Tyler Hoffman got the win. Kagan Giles got the save. That was his third for the Green Wave. So let's go ahead and give you the play-by-play of the game. So play-by-play of the game. Okay, top of the first, Houston did not score. They had a strikeout, 2 strikeouts and 1 line out. So that inning, so they had a Tulane in a quick inning. Tulane did not score in the bottom of the first. They left 1 runner on base. They had 1 error, and they got a hit in the bottom of the first. Also, Houston, same thing in the top of the second, but they left 1 runner on base. And the bottom of the second inning, Tulane scores 3 runs. That was on a Colin Burns double. Minder went to go to third, and then Hart scored. So it was 3-0. Green Wave at the bottom of the second. They had 4 hits in the inning. Also, Tulane, Houston left 2 runners on base in the top of the third. They only got 1 hit. There was a sac bunt by McMillan. So a sac bunt by McMillan. So advanced to second. So they got a sac bunt. And they also got a single. Now, Tulane scored 2 runs in the bottom of the third. It was a 2-run homer by Groff. Neiman scored, made it 5-0. So off the 2-run homer, so it made it 5-0 Tulane. They had 2 runners left on base. Houston had 1 runner left on base in the top of the 4th. Also, Tulane batting was they gave up a hit. They got a hit, but they struck out twice in the bottom of the 4th. But they had caught stealing in that inning, so that was Engelhard getting caught stealing a base. Now in the top of the 5th, Houston struck out, and flew out. Struck out and flew out. So that's in that inning. Now, Tulane scored in the bottom of the 5th on a double down the left field line. Abel scores, made it 6-0. So they have 1 hit. Houston in the top of the 6th scored a run, made it 6-1. The lead was cut down to 6-1. And the runner, they had left 3 runners on base. Now in the top of the 7th for Houston, Houston scored those 3 runs, cut the lead to 6-4. So it was 6-4. Tulane, they left 2 runners on base. And Houston, they did not. So Houston, in the top of the 9th, scored their last and final run. That was in the top of the 9th. So that was in game number 2. Tulane wins 6-5. So 6-5. Tulane wins their game. So that was in the bottom of the 9th. Tulane did not. Let's go through the box scores. Okay, box score. Colin Burns went 3 for 5. Prairie 0 for 3. Bennett Lee went 0 for 4. Chase Engelhart went 1 for 4. Frankie Neiman 1 for 4. Louis Avails went 1 for 2. Luis Avails, yeah. Ethan Groff went 2 for 4. Jared Hart went 3 for 3. And then Trevor Minder went 0 for 2 in the game. Now the doubles was Burns, Neiman, Groff, and Hart. And then the home run was Groff. And then sack bunt was by Jacob LaPerry. Jacob LaPerry getting the sack hit. Now the base runner, Luis Avails, got a stolen base. Also, Groff and also Jared Hart, caught stealing Burns and Engelhart in the game. So, and then hit by pitch was Jace Jared Hart. So Jared Hart. Now the pitching for Tulane. Let's give you those pitching numbers. Pitching, Tulane gave up 9 hits, 5 runs. 5 of them was earned. They walked 4 and struck out 14. Hoffman struck out 8. He gave up 3. DeVito struck out 2, gave up 1 walk. Campbell did not walk anybody. Robert Price had one strikeout. Kagan Giles had 3 strikeouts in the game. So 3 strikeouts for the Tulane pitching, to be exact. So Tulane right now 24-14. They are now 13-2 in the conference. Their next couple of games will be East Carolina. They will have East Carolina coming in May 7th through 9th, and then they'll have UCF. So they have some. They have another conference games they got to win. So they got East Carolina. They got UCF, and then they'll have Cincinnati. So that's 3 consecutive weekends that they're going to have to win these conference series. Right now, Tulane is in perfect shape at 13-2, but I think they need to get more wins. Their RPI as of right now is at 70. They have to get that RPI up a little bit in the and also get some wins in the American Conference Tournament to even be considered to getting a regional and stuff like that. So they'll have to win in the regionals as well. So final score, Tulane wins 6-5. So we will go ahead and this out, and I'm gonna we're gonna recap UNO baseball. So UNO did play McNeese. So I'm gonna get the UNO baseball stuff up. Okay, let's see. They did. Let's give you the game this weekend for UNO baseball. UNO wins 8-4 in game 2, but loses game 1, 8-3. So we will recap both box scores for UNO. So we'll have that. We'll recap game 1, and also we'll recap game 2. So let me go ahead and get those box scores in. And we will recap game 1. What's they lost 8-3, so we'll recap that one. So let me get this switched in. Okay, we'll switch it back. UNO loses 8-3 to McNeese. That was a conference weekend. Losing pitcher was Chris Tupin. He was 7-2, so he got the loss. Will Dion got the win for the McNeese Cowboys in their game. So once again, 8-3 in game 1. So we'll give you the box score play-by-play. Okay, let's begin in the top of the first. UNO did not score in the top of the first, so they kind of had a quiet inning. McNeese in the bottom of the first left one runner on base. They gave up. They have 1 hit, so they have 1 hit. So that was in the now in the top of the second, same inning for UNO, kind of not getting the bats going in the top of the second. Also, McNeese, same thing as well. So both teams were absolutely bats were completely quiet. Now in the top of the third, UNO left a runner on base. They reached on an error. That was on a fielder's error by the McNeese fielders. Now McNeese in the bottom of the third did not score. They had a quiet inning. They popped out, struck out, and out at first. Now UNO scores in the top of the first. They scored their first run, made it 1-0 UNO. That was in the top of the fourth. And then McNeese came back and scored 2 runs, made it 2-1 McNeese. That was in the bottom of the fourth. And then UNO kind of left 2 runs on base. They had hit. Bottom of the fifth, McNeese also had a quiet inning. He only action was a double down the left field line. Top of the sixth, UNO started off the inning with 2 singles and sack bunt. So 2 singles and a sack bunt for the UNO Privateers. Also, McNeese came back in the bottom of the sixth and scored 6 runs. So it made it 8-1 McNeese in the top of the sixth. Now on the top of the seventh, UNO scored 2 runs, made it 8-3. Cut the lead down to 8-3. And then bottom of the 7, they did not score. So that was the end of the ball game. So they played, I think, 7 innings in this one. So final score was 8-3. So let's go through the box score for the UNO Privateers. Okay, we'll go through the box score. Okay, box score on the screen. Fur went 0 for 3. Gage Howard went 0 for 4. Howard Pace went 2 for 3. Luther Woolard went 2 for 3. Salah Aze went 0 for 2. Isaac Williams went 0 for 2. Blake Way went 0 for 1. Bo Bratton went 1 for 3. Hudson LeBlanc went 1 for 2. Darren Willis went 1 for 3 for the UNO Privateers. Now the hitting was Pace, Salah Isaac with a sack bunt, and sack fly was Howard, Pace Howard, and the base running Hudson LeBlanc, and the pitching for the UNO Privateers, Chris Toppin went the full 7 innings. He gave up 8 hits, 7 hits for 8 runs. 4 of them was earned. Walked 2, struck out 3. So it's in the game for the UNO Privateers. That was in game 1. So game 1, McNeese wins 8-3. So we'll give you a game 2's box score. So I'm going to go ahead and switch this out and give you game 2's box score. Okay, game 2 box score. Okay, game 2 box score. UNO wins game 2 over McNeese. 8-4. Brandon Mitchell got the win. Caleb Selesky got the win, save. So he got his save. So Caleb Selesky got the save for the UNO Privateers. So we'll give you the play-by-play. Okay, let's go over to the top of the first. UNO inning was quiet. No runs, no hits, no errors, no men left on base. McNeese scored 2 runs in the bottom of the first. They scored on a fielder's choice, and also they scored on a single to the right side. It was 2-0, and then UNO scored a run that was on a LeBlanc single up the middle. Bo Bratton scored, made it 2-1. McNeese left 2 men on base. They gave only they had 2 hits and 1 error. So also UNO had 1 man left on base. Bottom of the third, same inning. They kind of their bats was quiet. Same. UNO had a hit in the top of the fourth, but left 2 runners on base. Also, McNeese left one runner on base. That was in the bottom of the fourth. Now, in the top of the fifth, UNO did score, making it 4-2. So it was 3 runs in that inning, making it 4-2. One man was left on base. The UNO Privateers. And let's see. UNO scored another run. It was in the top of the sixth, made it 5-2. So UNO lead was 3 runs, 5-2. And McNeese came back, scored their 2 runs in the bottom of the sixth, made it 5-4. So 5-4 McNeese. And then UNO scored in the top of the seventh, made it 6-4. McNeese did not score in the bottom of the seventh. Same thing with UNO. Now, in the top of the ninth, UNO did score 2 runs, made it 8-4. So they increased their lead to 8-4. That was on a double to right center field. That was Paige Howard. Gage Howard scored and LeBlanc scored. That made it 8-4. And then McNeese did not score in the bottom of the ninth. So UNO closed it out, winning 8-4, final score. So let's go through those box score numbers. Okay, box score numbers for the UNO Privateers. Christian Furr went 0-4. Gage Howard went 1-2. Paige Howard went for 2-5. Lofa Willett 1-5. Salah Isay went 0-4. Bo Bratton went 1-3. Murphy Jackson went 1-2. Hudson Labodis went 2-4. Dallin Willis went 1-4, and that was in the game. So 1-4 for Dallin Willis. Now your hitting was Paige Howard, Luther Willett, and Darren Willis. Sack hit was Darren Willis, and also Furr got the sack fly. Base running Gage Howard, Salah Isay, and hit by a pitch was Gage Howard. So let's see. Brandon Mitchell had 5.5 innings, gave up 8 hits, 4 runs, 4 was earned. He walked 1, struck out 4. And Kyle Casa Dolan gave up a hit. Caleb Selesky struck out 7 batters. He did not give up a hit. So that was in yesterday's game. So final score, UNO wins 8-4. So UNO's next couple of series in conference, let's go through those next couple of series. They will take on Central Arkansas. They will have a series with McNeese. They'll finish the series up today up in Lake Charles. They'll have Central Arkansas May 7th through 9th. They'll be out at Privateer Park. Also, Lamar. They'll be out in Beaumont, Texas, 14th through 16th. And they will have Oklahoma State. That will be a non-conference game for them, May 20th through 22nd. May 20th through 22nd. So their last 2 conference series is going to be Central Arkansas and Lamar. So that's going to be on those last 2 conference series for the UNO Privateers in general. So UNO right now, 24-19, 19-12 overall. They got to get those last 2 conference series wins between Central Arkansas and Lamar if they want to get in to the conference tournament, and they also want to be considered for a regional. So once the tournaments are over, conference tournaments. So once again, we'll recap. Thanks for okay, let's go ahead and close this out. Okay, once again, thanks for joining us for this edition of Sports Talk. We recapped it baseball here in the city and in the state with LSU. Once again, hopefully LSU can get back on the right track when they go through their last conference series of the week. They will take on Southern on Tuesday, and they will also go back to they will have Auburn. So they will have Auburn next week in the Plains. So hopefully LSU can bounce back and kind of get their wins, and hopefully they can just gain some ground. So thanks for joining us. We appreciate you coming in. We'll be back tomorrow on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter for New Orleans Pelicans basketball. They will take on Golden State. We'll have that game for you. And also on Monday. Also on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we'll have Biloxi Shuckers baseball that will be on the air. They will take on the Birmingham Barons. Opening day for Biloxi Shuckers. So we will have it for you on Tuesday night. So first pitch will be 6:35. We'll have the game for you. And then we'll go once again, go from there. Everybody have a good rest of your Sunday afternoon.